Hi, I'm Sebastian, and these are the Darien Elementary School weather stations. These weather stations contain 12 instruments that can measure many different types of weather data, ranging from precipitation to air pressure to wind speed to temperature. To learn about the instruments, here is a quick section of Q&A with a third grader here at Tokenique School, Linnea. Hi, Linnea. So,
Hi,
Linnea,
Sebastian.
what is this thing?
That is a clock that has more features than just telling time. First, this clock is controlled by radio waves from Colorado that give it very accurate time, and it never needs setting. Also, there is a thermometer and a hygrometer attached. These small instruments measure the temperature and humidity outside.
Linnea, I assume this is also a thermometer, right?
Yes, there are multiple types of thermometers that are on this weather station, but this is called a tube thermometer. This is the classic design of thermometer, but in the olden days, this red liquid was made of mercury. Mercury is toxic, though, so when the tube broke, it was very dangerous. Today, safer alternatives are used.
This instrument measures temperature by how high and low the liquid is, right?
Yep, so right now, it is 35. It is
36.
It is currently 36 degrees Fahrenheit. In other parts of the world, they use Celsius as their measurement scale, and currently it is 2 degrees Celsius.
Now that we have covered the front of the weather station, what is that box?
This box is called the Stevenson screen, and it protects sensitive instruments from the sun, rain, and snow. The screening still allows for plenty of ventilation, so the instruments can measure the ambient weather. The Stevenson screen is locked, but when students are on the playground or when they are passing by, they can look through the slats at the instruments inside.
Let's open it up to see what's inside. I see many things like a thermometer, a hygrometer, a barometer, a compass, and something in a box. So, Linnea, can you tell me about the thermometer?
Like the tube thermometer and the thermometer on the clock, this also measures the temperature. This instrument uses a metal coil that expands and contracts in the heat, which causes the arrow to move and point at the correct temperature.
The hygrometer below the thermometer uses a coil too, right?
Not exactly. The hygrometer is made in Germany, and it uses real human hair that expands and contracts to move the arrow to point at the right humidity. Instead of a coil, there's hair.
Then there is the barometer. This instrument uses a coil like a thermometer to tell the pressure. Air pressure tells the weight of the atmosphere that is pressing down on us. This may seem quite useless when we're talking about the weather, not the atmosphere, but actually air pressure and the weather are very closely related. With low pressure, this brings us usually cloudy and rainy weather, while high pressure tends to be clear. Right now, the pressure is around 30.5 inches, which is actually quite high. The normal is around 30 inches of pressure. Now, Linnea, can you tell me about this box?
The box contains a handheld anemometer which measures the wind speed. All you have to do is line yourself up with the wind and you get the speed.
What? How do you do that?
You have to look at the wind vane. This instrument shows the direction of the wind. It also can tell you cardinal directions like north and south. Once you see where the wind is coming from, you put the anemometer so the wind would pass through and turn the fan.
There really is no wind right now.
Yes.
So if there was wind, this anemometer would tell you the exact wind miles per hour, but because there is none, the wind vane is telling us that there's no wind by not moving. Okay, Linnea, I've also heard that because that thing is called an anemometer, isn't this thing also an anemometer? What's the difference?
That anemometer is also called the wind cups. The wind turns the cups and the instrument spins with the wind. It does not give you an exact speed of the wind, but students can count the number of revolutions of the wind cups and compare the data to other days when it was more windy and not as windy.
Oh my god, there's so many things on this weather station. Finally, last but not least, what is this compass for?
The compass can be used to see the cardinal directions like the wind vane, but it can also be used to figure out the direction of the wind. When one student figures out the wind speed using the handheld anemometer, another student would bring the compass over to the student so that the student who is using the anemometer does not move. The student with the anemometer would then take the compass, line it up with their belly button, and the compass would say what direction the wind is coming from.
Came from the south. It also says that on the wind vane. Swords. I also see a rain gauge on the right, but we have a separate video about the instrument and how to use it. Thank you, Linnea, for explaining to us about how all these instruments work. Thanks for watching, and now I hope you know more about the Darien Elementary School weather stations.